How's it going, guys? I am Dee, and this is my fiance Tessa. I'm one of the new additions sharing Friday to It's Not a Straight Life. Today we're going to be talking about relationship tips while you're in the relationship. And just remember, what might work for us might not work for you guys because we're kind of weird. We're like that vomiting when you look at them couple. We're just that weird. But some things that I know definitely work while in a relationship is communication, which we're really, really good on. We're really good at communicating with each other for the most part.
For the most part.
For the most part.
It really helps to try and, if you have any problems, especially, on the other side, if you're not the one that isn't trans, to try and communicate with your partner to see how, they are and things that will work out. If you're having a problem, they're being too emotional, they're being weird, it's best to tell them how you're feeling. That way you two can get over it and get through your problems together.
And if you're in a relationship where you're afraid to speak your mind, it's probably not a good relationship. You should never be afraid to tell the person you're with how you're feeling. I'm never afraid to tell her when I have a problem with her or if I'm having an issue myself. And she's really good at listening to me, and that's another key thing, is to listen. A lot of people want to just speak their own 2 cents and not really take the input that the other person's giving them. And we're really good at taking the input and also, speaking our minds and not being afraid to. And another thing with that is respecting the other person, respecting their feelings. I have to respect how she feels. I might not think I'm being an asshole, but she might think I am, and I have to respect that and not let it, damper my pride as a person. And it's the same thing with her. If I have an issue with her, I hope that she respects that, how I'm feeling as a person.
And if it ends up coming to the conclusion where you can't handle the way that they're being about things, the way that they're reacting towards your emotions or you're reacting towards their emotions, then you should probably step away from the conflict and think about it and talk about it again. If that doesn't help, then, well, half the time you're shit out of luck.
But a big thing of making a relationship last is being comfortable with the person you're with. And communication is a big make or break thing in a relationship. If you can't talk to the person you're with, maybe if you've tried different ways of communicating, whether it's writing a letter to each other, which is sometimes a good thing to do because it forces that person to listen to everything that you have to say. And it also helps with word vomiting, so you don't say things that you regret later, because you can reread it and go through and be like, oh wait, maybe I don't want to put this in there. It might sound wrong, or I don't really necessarily feel this way now, because you have that time to kind of think about what you're going to say. Another thing is trust. You have to be able to trust the person you're with. And the thing that I used to always get was, I trust you, but I don't trust the other person. And that's a big thing you shouldn't use. It's not that you shouldn't trust the other person. You have to trust the person you're with. And always trust that they're not going to, stab you in the back. They're not going to cheat on you. They're not lying to you. And I'm a big trusting person until I have a reason not to trust that person. And it's like me being in the military, I'm away sometimes. So I have to trust that, she's not going to do anything. And while I'm away, she has to trust that I'm not going to do anything. And I'm still friends with some of my exes. She's still friends with some of her exes. And if I'm not there or she's not there, we have to trust each other that we're not going to do something stupid.
It's usually about just making the right decision. You always have to make the right decision. You have to trust your partner to make the right decision as well. There have been multiple times where I've been uncomfortable about him hanging out with some of his exes, but I end up getting over it because I trust him to the point where I know he's not going to end up making a mistake that's going to cost us our relationship.
Yeah. So trust each other, and if there's no trust there, then there might be a big issue. And that also falls in with communication and respect. You know, you have to respect, you know, I've been cheated on, and she's been cheated on. So we have to respect the fact that, you know, they have issues. And we have to respect their wishes, which in a relationship, you have to have that line, that boundary, you know, that doesn't get crossed. Like, if she's uncomfortable with something that I do with someone, I have to respect that and not do it. And I can't make excuses for why I do it. I just don't do it. And it's the same thing with her. So you need to, you know, have sit downs every once in a while and talk about these things. That's how you get a relationship to last longer, because you know every key point to each other and how to make things work. It's not just, a relationship shouldn't be all about fighting. If it's just a constant battle, it's probably not a good relationship, and it's not good for your mental being either. If you're constantly depressed and you're constantly sad for whatever's going on with that person, and don't be afraid to move on. You know, we go through hundreds. Sometimes people go through one relationship. Sometimes people go through 50 relationships before they find that person that they're meant to be with, and you never really know. So while you're in that relationship, you know, these are some things that might help you know if you're in the right relationship or not, and also help you make that relationship work. If you're constantly fighting with each other, if you're constantly battling with that person to make things work, then it's time to throw in the towel. There's nothing wrong with that sometimes. There's absolutely nothing wrong. I know it hurts and I know it sucks, but you know, you have to be happy in your life and let that person be happy with theirs as well.
And I've heard multiple times that fighting in a relationship is healthy, while necessarily sometimes, like, occasional fighting, arguments only is healthy. That way you can get it out and understand where both of you are standing. But constantly fighting is not healthy. It's not healthy at all. It just creates tension in the relationship, and then as you move on throughout your relationship, it's a horrible situation and ends up turning out really bad in the end.
Yeah, so, and another, what would you say another key thing that we're really good with each other? Annoying the hell out of each other.
Annoying the hell out of each other.
If the person you're with can stand your annoyances, your weird habits, you know they're the right person. I am weird as hell, and so is she, but we
pick
love
on each other all the time, and it's good. It's really good. And the fact that we do it so often, it gets us used to each other, and it gets us used to how we act with each other. And it's a good thing to have in a relationship. Picking on each other, fighting the hell out of each other, just showing each other that you're in love with each other. Not necessarily in love, but that you love each other where you're comfortable with them.
And that's, I mean, part of a relationship is a friendship. You have to be able to have a friendship with the person you're with, and we have a really awesome friendship. We're not just all lovey-dovey all the time, but we'll play video games together, we'll play board games together, we'll go to the gym and work out together. We do things, you know, sometimes just friends do. And that's good, that's healthy. You need that in a relationship, because if it's just all, oh, I just love you so much all the time, it gets really boring and dull, and then eventually you just get tired of each other. So have some, you know, quality time of just playing a video game, doing things that you guys both enjoy doing. Like, I don't know, if you like Comic-Con, go to Comic-Con together. If you can, go First Fridays together. If you have that,
concerts or anything together, you know, try and share interests with each other. And sometimes necessarily the other person won't be as interested as the subject that you're in, but it's okay. That's perfectly fine. I mean, you are two completely different people, so it's natural.
So have some friendship time together. And you guys should also be good with each other's friends. You know, if she wasn't cool with my friends, it would make hanging out with other people really uncomfortable, because if you're around each other 24/7, you're gonna have some issues. You're gonna start fighting. You need that time away to miss each other. You know, that time to be like, oh, well, hey, how was your day? Oh, don't tell me, I already know, because I was right beside you the entire time. And that's where working helps. You know, she'll be gone at work, or when I was gone at work, like, we come home and we talk, oh, what happened to your day? And let them vent about what happened. Or, you know, you have to have things to talk about, because if you have nothing to talk about, you just sit there and watch TV and you have nothing to say to each other. So have, you know, some away time, but make sure that it's in a trusting environment. You know, I wouldn't, if she was somewhere where I wasn't comfortable, I'm gonna let her know, hey, you know, I know you need your away time, but can you do it with somebody else? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, and a lot of the time it's mainly just being able to as we said earlier, communicate. And if you have your boyfriend or girlfriend, whoever it is you're with, make sure that you're not just in a relationship together, you're best friends. Not even just best friends, you're counseling for each other, you're counselors for each other. We talk about our issues all the time. We're best friends. It's really good for our relationship. We've been together for over a year now, and it's probably one of the best things that has ever happened to myself. I can't say for him, but one of the best things that's happened to myself.
Yeah. And I mean, I've been with people, and you know, while you're in that relationship, you think, oh, this is the person, this is the one, I'm gonna fight tooth and nail, and that's good, but it's also bad. If, like I said before, if you're constantly fighting tooth and nail for this person, then obviously they don't respect you, and they don't see, you know, I don't know how I'm trying to say this.
They don't see exactly
your worth.
Yeah, what you're worth. They don't see that you're pretty much on your hands and knees begging for them, you know, trying to fight for the relationship. And if you're trying to fight for the relationship, if you're begging them to come back to you, if you're begging them to stay with you, anything like that, and they're not doing anything, then you should probably, you know, give up. And it's a red flag, because they don't want to have anything to do with you. They've moved on, or you weren't that important to them.
Yeah. You guys shouldn't be fighting against each other. You should be fighting for each other. If there's going to be any type of fighting as far as that goes. One thing that we both disagreed on is, you know, if you're in a relationship and that person decides to leave, and, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to fight for you, I'm going to do this. The way I look at it is, no, I'm not. Because if you can't see how much I'm worth now, then I'm not going to try and show it to you. If you didn't see it this whole time, then, you know what, I'm going to let you walk away and you can see what you're missing out. So that's kind of how I look at it. She's a little bit different, but I mean,
I used to look at it a different way, but then he showed me a better way to look at things. I used to be the one that would always fight tooth and nail to have the person, because I thought they were the one for me, but ended up in the end that they weren't. So I ended up seeing the better way of things.
Yeah. Another thing that helps: communication, respect, trust, loyalty. Loyalty, that's another good one. Always be loyal to the person you're with. If that person is not around you and you can't be loyal to them, you have to flirt with other people, you're noticing other people, you want to talk to other people in a sense that's not appropriate, then obviously you shouldn't be in that relationship. If you stray away, then it's not good. Unless you guys have that openness, then, you know, it's not right. It's wrong. I'm sorry, but cheating is wrong. And being loyal, you know, that's a big thing in a relationship. You know, being together as that person. She's the person I'm with, so if she's not around me, I'm not going to go out and get other girls' numbers. I'm not going to talk to other people in that sense. Yeah, if I'm going to be friends with her, that's one thing. But as far as saying it past that line, then that's a no-go. And it shouldn't be done. If you can't be with that person and that person be your only person, then, and like I said before, unless you have that type of a relationship, unless you're in an open relationship and you guys are both cool with doing whatever you want, or, you know, whatever you guys have established, then that's one thing. But if you're in a monogamous relationship, then that should be the only person you have eyes for, in my opinion. But like you said, what might work for us or the way we are might be different for you guys. So keep that in mind as well. But that's the way I look at it. You know, when I'm with that person, that's it. That's all I'm with. I don't talk to other people. I don't notice other people in that sense. That's how it should be, in my opinion. And another thing is, you know, a lot of people might be older, so you might be drinking. And in my opinion, cheating and that kind of stuff, just because you're drunk is not an excuse. If you can't handle yourself intoxicated, then you either shouldn't drink when you're around people that might be tempting, or it can get you into situations where you do the wrong thing, or, you know.
You should drink with the person that you're with. Because if you trust them enough to that point where they won't take advantage of you, that they'll protect you, that they'll show you when you're intoxicated the right thing to do, then that's great. But otherwise, if they really don't care how you are while you're drunk and they just let you wander off like at a bar or something and let you be alone and flirt with other people, and then they go and accuse you of cheating, then it's both of your faults.
Yeah. So hopefully some of our tips will help you guys in your relationships and help them work. So just remember, communicate with each other on your issues. Stay true to each other. Have fun with each other. We have plenty of fun with each other. And you don't need money to have fun. I know not everyone's rich all the time. You can go outside and play sports. You can go on a walk and talk with each other. You can play video games. You can watch TV.
If you have some extra food, you can go on a picnic in your backyard.
Exactly. Go camping. Go whatever. Be creative. Think of new things to do. I mean, we play, what was it, Factor False. It's a board game. I mean, be creative, have fun with each other. Be loyal to each other. Just enjoy each other's company. If you're sitting there thinking, oh great, they're going to be home in 5 minutes, maybe it's not the right relationship. So really, I'm not saying break up with whoever you're with if you're having these problems, but look for the red flags and also look for the good. A lot of times we always look at the negative stuff. Well, this person does this and they do that and this and that and this, but we never really look at
They don't pick up after themselves. They don't cook. They don't do anything. They just sit on their ass all day.
Are you trying to make a point? No. Anyways, but if you're constantly picking out all the negatives, it's really not gonna help. Look at the good things. Look at, oh, I love the way they smile. Remember, remember this one time we were camping and this was funny, or we had this moment.
The time where you exploded a can in the fire.
That was fun. But think of the good moments that you have with that person. Don't just be like, oh, well, this is all crap, so goodbye. Think of some good things first.
Try and straighten things out before you make anything a final decision. Try and think of the good things as well, not only just the bad things. I mean, there's probably going to be a lot of cons within your relationship, a lot of things that you don't like about each other, but that happens. But also think about the good things that you like about each other, just so even the small things, just the really small things, like the way he sleeps, the way he snores sometimes, the way
I do not snore.
The way that, he laughs so much and farts on me sometimes.
Shut up. That was one time. But anyways, I was gonna say something and I forgot. But yeah, know when to walk away and know when to stay. Damn, I had it again and then I forgot it. I'm really bad at this. This is my first video, so kind of bear with us.
Learn when to be cute and when to be disgusting.
Yeah, and if you can be disgusting with the person you're with, if you can fart, and you can ask them for toilet paper and not cover your... That sounds kind of weird. But anyways, if you can be comfortable with each other, then that's awesome. If you're one of those people that, nope, I'm going to hold it in all the time, I mean, eventually...
It's going to get tiring. It's going to get really tiring.
And it's going to happen.
Especially if you're living
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I never wanted it to happen, but we were sitting on a couch and we were looking at cute cat videos. And this is before we were dating, too. It was before we were dating. And I laughed really, really hard after holding it in the whole time, and I kind of farted right on her. And it just kind of went from that, and now she farts more than me, so it's cool. But just...
And it's perfectly normal. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. It's natural. It's a natural thing.
It's gross sometimes, but hey,
it stinks.
But
it's alright.
And when you have problems and you're looking at the negatives, think about, okay, is this really worth me wasting my time and energy over? If it's something little and it's something you can live with, then, stop worrying about it so much. If it's, oh, they put their towel on the floor all the time and I'm really tired of it, that's not a reason necessarily to break up with someone, but
It's
Maybe
a
just
good thing
open your
that-
mouth and be like, hey, train them. I was trained. I used to, for some reason, would leave my towel on the floor all the time, but my ex trained me to hang my towel up all the time. So
And
now
I had
do.
to train this one and myself to keep the cupboards in the kitchen closed. We both have that problem, mainly him. And I end up getting up in the morning and going to get something to eat, like some cereal, and then I end up banging my head on one of the cupboards. But it's alright. I mean, there can be cons in a relationship, and if it's something that can be worked out, then trying to discuss it with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, whoever you're with, and, try and tell them, hey, next time can you do this, next time can you do that. It's more communication.
Mm-hmm. So be prepared to talk a lot, because you're gonna have to. Because I can't read her mind, even though she wishes I do sometimes, and that's one thing that really annoys me. But it's not a reason to break up with her. It's not a reason to be an asshole to her. So really think: is it worth it? Is it worth throwing everything that we've worked for away, or can we work it out? Now, if she constantly was like, "No, you have to read my mind, or I can't be with you," then you know what? I need to walk away. Because I'm never going to be able to read her mind. And I'm sorry, other people, mainly women that are out there, we cannot read your mind. I wish we could, but we can't. It would make life easier sometimes. Maybe sometimes it wouldn't, because we might not want to know what you're thinking about. But we can't do it. And you
It's
can't read ours.
probably a good thing, too.
But so good luck with your relationship, and just remember some things that we've talked about and some other things that other people have talked about, and we really hope that everything works out, and we hope that we help, and we will see you next Friday, or I will see you next Friday. I don't know. We'll see. Bye.